Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Express Show. I'm Rob Bennett, sitting in with Dan O'Hara and Tommy Friedenberg, bringing you the best of the community sport lifestyle.
This is our
Special sale.
From Pop Warner to the Dome. From 5Ks to marathons.
Special sale.
From Little League to Work Leagues. Focusing on the community sports lifestyle in Central New York.
Oh, do it to it. Go on and do it.
Top of the list, biggest news of the week, Ezekiel Elliott gets signed by the Dallas Cowboys. Tommy, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, as an unbiased media member, I think a lot of top running backs in the league are going to be excited to see that number pop up. A lot of guys that are going to be coming up looking for big extensions, they're going to be excited to see $90 million as a potential figure for them to reach next. I'm also excited as a football fan, just an objective viewer of the game, watching him run, hurdle, block. He does it all really well, so I think the game of football is better having him playing it.
There is nothing objective about you. You're a Cowboys fan.
I turn it off when the cameras come on. That's all I'm saying.
I got
That's very
you.
objective.
All right, well, people, running backs, they're going to try to get that Emmitt Smith money. They better come up with some Emmitt Smith production because first 3 years, very few people have had the kind of numbers that he's had. So we'll see what these guys think they can come up with in order to match that money. Coach Dan, what do you think?
I don't care. I was kind of hoping the Giants would play against the Cowboys without him.
You and a lot of people in Central
Well,
New
the
York.
Giants have a running back, which I think is better than Zeke, but hey, nobody's talking about him.
Well, we can talk
Once
about
he gets his
Saquon.
contract deal up, then they'll be talking about him.
Saquon Barkley may be one of those guys who can talk Zeke numbers, but there aren't that many. But yeah, the Giants are going to have to face him on Sunday night at Texas Stadium.
Yeah, don't call me. I don't want to hear from anybody.
You're not watching? You want to watch?
Oh, I'm
together?
watching. I'm not watching it
together.
with you. No, somebody
Head over
will
to
somebody will
Costas.
get hurt.
Yeah, let's go over to Costas and watch the game.
No, not happening. Not happening.
I offered.
All right. Other big news in sport, Syracuse had a big win over Liberty. You know, some question whether it's a big win or not, but very, very interesting part of that game is that there was just no film for the Orange Men and Dino Babers to study. Big performance by the defense. Offense did what they needed to do, come back with a 23-24 victory. 1-0 in the books. Any thoughts on that, Coach?
Should be 40-something to nothing, in my opinion, if they're gonna, be ranked at what are they, 22,
I get up to 21 now.
21. Again, don't know much about Liberty. Haven't seen them on TV.
Nobody has.
No,
Not even Coach Babers.
I didn't even get to see the game because I couldn't find it on the local television station.
Yeah,
but
you had
I was
to buy-
listening to it on the radio.
You had to buy ESPN Plus like half of Central New York.
Yeah.
Tommy, any thoughts on that game?
Well, I thought they definitely started out slowly. 3-0 at the end of the first quarter is not what you really expected from an offense that was supposed to be pretty prolific. But you're on the road, a team. The crowd there was absolutely amped up. Sea of red. They're into the game. They're on the team. So it was a slow start. Tommy DeVito's first game. Running the ship himself from day one. He had some experience filling in for Eric Dungy last year. But being said, the defense, like I said, played pretty well. Andre Cisco picked up right where he left off last year with an interception. He led the nation last year. One game in, one more interception for him. And Mo Neal played pretty well. He had 143 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. He ripped off a 42-yard carry. So I think all in all, there are problems to be fixed, but they shouldn't feel terrible heading into Maryland.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And speaking of Maryland, that was some performance that they put on Howard. Did you see that score, Coach?
I did not.
79-0. So Syracuse, I think last week was a 3-point favorite. Now about a 2.5 point road dog going into Maryland next week. And we'll see. Obviously, Maryland is going to be a lot faster, going to be a lot more athletic, but obviously,
Coach won't be coaching from a hospital bed.
Coach will not be coaching
That
from a
was
hospital
one of
bed.
the
I don't know.
most bizarre things I've ever seen.
I don't know if that's an advantage or disadvantage after watching last week's game.
Well, they didn't win, so it didn't help. It don't look like.
Yeah, I think they ended up with negative yards rushing and not a lot there.
Quarterback was not very strong.
Couple of turnovers. Well,
4 turnovers total forced by the Syracuse defense. So.
Yeah, so hopefully Syracuse has a big performance. Next week, heading out to Dan Conley's tailgate, get his take on Syracuse University football program and what he's seen so far leading up to Clemson.
Big game.
Mean the world to both squads going into that 2-0. Obviously, Clemson is expected to get there. Cuse need to come up with a big road win to get to 2-0 and go face the Clemson Tigers.
This will be the first dinner that I think Conley's ever bought me. And
Really?
I don't think he's buying it, but I'm going to say he's buying it.
I've been to a couple of those tailgates, and they put on a nice spread over there. So expect to eat a lot and drink a lot and talk a lot of football. Should be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it.
All right, last week, high school football scrimmages, Pop Warner youth football got underway. We had a chance to go out to Port Byron and talk to new Port Byron coach Colin Dillabaugh. Coach seems a little excited about the season, but what were your thoughts, Coach?
Colin is by far one of the smartest football kids I've ever coached. He knows the game. He's an incredible football player. Not to say that he's going to be an incredible football coach, but I think he is.
Yeah.
He's just he's at their level. He talks to them the way, that he was coached. He can incite the excitement. And, the three kids that we talked to, I was pretty impressed with all three of them. One I remember when he was just walking around in diapers, I think, Mason there. But I really impressed with all three of them. And, we got a good interview out of those three guys and a good interview with Colin. So
They got a tough schedule, They've got to start off with the jugglers of Utica, Notre Dame, and
Skinny Atlas is on the
Skinny
schedule.
Atlas and General Brown back to back in a couple of weeks. So Colin had better be ready to coach some football because he's got a tough schedule and a very, very difficult Class C this year.
He does.
We also went out and checked out the scrimmages, two heavyweights in Class B, Marcellus and Casanova. Tommy, what were your thoughts on that?
So one thing that stood out to me the most was the new running back and quarterback at Marcellus. The Mustangs are replacing a couple of their key contributors from last year. Sean Tierney and Nick Kermes stepped in, and in the scrimmage, they looked really good. You saw both of them break off big runs. Kermes had a couple really strong touchdowns as well. So the big play potential is there. They look like they know how to move the ball down the field. Even when they weren't busting off long runs, they were still getting 4, 5, 6 yards on a carry.
Offensive line, defensive line looked tough and
They
solid
looked like
there,
they really just they smacked Casanova sort of in the mouth.
Yeah.
As much as you can in a scrimmage. So I think there's reason definitely to be excited for Marcellus.
Yeah, you had an opportunity to speak to Coach Nick Patterson after the game. What were his thoughts on the scrimmage?
Well, he liked what he saw. He knows there's stuff to clean up, but he told me one of the things they look for most out of that type of game is the effort that people are putting out. They're looking for their number one guys. They're looking to see who is going to be doing the dirty work all season, who they're going to ride with for the year. And he said he liked what he saw. You'll see in the highlights there are a few. There's a nice pass breakup. There's some shoestring tackles. All the kind of effort plays you do need to win a game. And I think they were able to show that, and I think Coach Patterson was happy about that.
Yeah, expecting big things out in Marcellus this year. I haven't seen anyone push around Casanova like that pretty much ever. I know it was just a scrimmage. Maybe Casanova was holding some stuff back, but Marcellus seemed to be at the higher end of that battle.
Absolutely.
And can't sell Casanova short year in, year out. The self-proclaimed beasts of the East are playing for the sectional championship game or winning the sectional championship. So was that kind of by design? I was a little surprised to see Marcellus scrimmage them. Was there anything to that?
There was. That's something Patterson told me also, was that he wants to make sure he's measuring up his guys against the cream of the crop, the class of their class.
Okay.
He wants to make sure that, if they go out and play well, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
He wants to make sure his guys are tested early. He wants to make sure that they will know what it looks like, down the season when they have to go up against a big a big team, a strong team, they won't be phased.
Yeah, well, I had an opportunity to see 2 scrimmages over the weekend. Friday night out in Skinny Atlas, the new look Skinny Atlas Lakers, and Coach Joe Sindoni introducing a brand new quarterback in James Musso. Saw some time last year in mop-up work for Pat Hackler. And Jack Comer, 4th-team All-State linebacker, but he's going to be stepping in, filling the big shoes of R.A. Boney and teaming up with All-State wide receiver Nick Wamp. Coach Sinoni wasn't showing much in that scrimmage, Coach. You surprised by that? Everything
No.
was vanilla, runs up the middle, a couple screens, that type of thing. But Sinoni was showing nothing. At least that was from my perspective.
Yeah, it's scrimmages. When I was at the high school level, you wanted to see guys blocking assignments, go over film, after the scrimmage. You don't want to give away too much because everybody's watching, especially if you're the team to beat. But, to get younger guys out there, give them some playing time in a scrimmage, that's what you want to see, what guys can give you that you don't know what they've got. And that's the base of a scrimmage. I mean, in my eyes, I never, showed everything, nor would I. But, hey, Friday night it kicks off, so we'll see.
Yeah, I talked to Coach a little bit after the game, and he kind of acknowledged that he was just trying to put guys in certain positions and seeing what his team did. Saying his objective was just to keep the needle moving in the right direction every day. I asked him if he did that tonight, and he said, "Yeah, I think so." But it was even tough for him to tell. But obviously, his primary concern was getting through that scrimmage healthy, and nobody was banged up, and so he considers that a big win. Huge game Friday night against Holland Patton, the last season's sectional champion in Class C. Of course, Skinny Atlas won in Class B this year, but starting right off with 2 defending champs battling it out Friday night up in Holland Patton. Should be a lot of fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. On Saturday, headed out to Central Square, saw a 3-way scrimmage with Auburn and Central Square, of course, and Jamesville DeWitt into the mix. And before we talk about that, just a little curious, your thought on Jamesville DeWitt. They've had a pretty good program over the last couple of years. I think they won a sectional championship as little as 2-3 years ago. And Coach Orman choosing to take the developmental route this year. Any thoughts on that?
Well, he probably has guys that are coming up into the system that, he knows are going to be playmakers for him. So to find out, what he's got now as opposed to what's coming in to make that mesh, yeah, I could see that. Not every year in the high school level do you have, all these athletes in these positions that you want. So, yeah, I get it. I understand it.
I can't really question that at all, and I'm sure Coach Orman is a great coach, and he's a great guy, and I'm sure he knows what he's doing. I just don't know. You watched a team like Cortland last year having no seniors on that squad and choosing to go and rough it up with the big boys in Class B and, take their beatings and, have their 0-8 season. You saw Port Byron do it last year. I'm just not sure what's best. You go the developmental route, and do people give you an excuse for going 0-8? I don't quite know. It's
No, they
this
don't.
whole concept is new to me.
Winning cures a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But you're dealt that hand with the guys that you have on the field, and you as a coach, it's high school football. Let's develop these guys. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
Let's give guys an opportunity to make plays, and you always pay attention to your modified JV programs to see what's coming up. So
Yeah, you can't argue with that logic. And at the end of the day, keeping your program, keeping kids playing the great game of football, and that's the most important thing, and I'm sure that is what the decision was out at JD for that. Cutting to, the games itself, Auburn looked pretty good. They're big up front. They've got some great skills positions. Quarterback this year again, started out early last year, took over the reins early last year. Troy. Okay. What's Troy's last name?
Cherney.
Troy Cherney. Okay.
Troy Cherney grew up a little bit.
Yeah.
He, Pop Warner, Pop Warner, he was probably up there with, one of the best quarterbacks at that age level that I've seen in a while. Very decisive on where he wanted to go with the ball. So, him playing it at such a young age and then moving on up, when he came in the second half of last year, they made some things happen, and
Nice.
he throws a nice ball, and I
Sure
love the
does.
kid. Good kid. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited for Auburn football.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. They've got 3 great running backs, I think probably led by Robert Washington this season. He had a couple of big runs. Did I get
Robert
his name?
Morris?
Robert Morris.
This kid is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Robert Morris, in my opinion, will probably, if the blocking up front's there for him, this kid, anytime he touches the ball, could be gone.
Yeah.
And he's another Pop Warner kid. Grew up in the Pop Warner system, and boy, he was fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's explosive, and he's got that second and third gear too. So, and he's not afraid of contact by no means.
Well, speaking of explosive, I think in the scrimmage against Central Square, they scored on the 3rd play from scrimmage, and in the JD game, they scored on the 2nd play for scrimmage. So they did some really good things. Coach Dave Moskov has got himself some pieces of the puzzle to work with and see if they can pull it all together. They open up Friday night at Henninger, which is always a big always a tough game for anyone to go in there and play. Spoke to Coach for a couple minutes after the scrimmage, and he mentioned that Henninger, as usual, is big and athletic, and he
loves to talk.
Yeah, well, he saw their scrimmage against CNS, and he said Henninger gave CNS everything that they could handle. So he thinks that they're the real deal, and it's going to be a tough battle on Friday night. So people of Auburn, get out to Henninger High School Friday night at 7 o'clock and support your Auburn Maroons. That's all we've got on the high school end for now. We've got some highlights from what we saw out there on the gridiron, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back. Okay, everyone, this week we had an opportunity to head out to Port Byron High School to talk to the head coach of the Port Byron / Union Springs Panthers or Wildcats. What do they go by for football, Coach?
Panthers.
They do go by Panthers for football. Colin Dillabaugh was handed the reins to the Port Byron program basically the day of the first practice, and seems to be doing a great job. We had an opportunity to talk to him and a couple of his players. Here's the tape. Okay, we're on location at Port Byron High School, home of the Panthers, talking to their football team today. And just introduce yourself, let people know a little bit about you.
My name's Gavin Smithler, been playing for 3 years, and just trying to get it done this year.
All right, senior, junior?
Senior.
Okay, running back and defensive back?
Yeah, running back and defensive back, and play a little bit of receiver.
Okay, what are you expecting from Utica Notre Dame, the Jugglers, this weekend?
They're a pretty hard-hitting team, but I think we can come out and give it to them.
Okay. Right here on Friday Night Lights, right?
Yeah, it's at Union Springs. Union Springs.
Game's at Union Springs.
Yep.
Gotcha. So what do you want everyone to know about Port Byron Panther football this year?
We're the underdogs. We have a lot of things happen to us in the off-season, but we're definitely going to come out and give it our best.
All right, well, I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for talking to us today. Good luck, man.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Next up, we're with Jose Reyes, cornerback and wide receiver for the Port Byron Panthers. Tell us a little bit how you like to play.
I like to hit hard. I like to play fast, and I like to give it to the opposing team.
So tell me a little bit about the camp so far this season.
It was better than expected. We were doing really good. I feel like we're on the right path, and we could get some wins.
Okay. Any good stories you want to tell people? Anything funny? Anything like that? Nah, just all football, all football all the time?
All football.
All right, so what is Notre Dame going to bring at you from a defensive perspective? Are they going to throw the ball? Are they going to be running the ball? They have a balanced offense. What are you expecting to see from those guys?
I expect run, but they are definitely going to be balanced. They're going to pass as well, and we're ready for it.
Okay. Tough season last year, 0-8. But you got Coach Dillenbaugh this year, and things are looking up for the Panthers?
Yes, we're playing with a chip on our shoulder, and we're looking for some wins this season.
Sounds good. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and can't wait to see what happens on Friday night. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're with QB1, Mason Helmer of the Port Byron Panthers. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how long you've been playing football, and just give everyone the introduction about you.
I've been playing football since 7th grade, senior this year. Really excited, and I don't know, I just can't wait to get this game going. I just want to play.
All right, new coach this year, Colin Dillenbaugh. What do you think of this guy?
I'm excited. He was with us last year, and I think he's going to bring a lot of great things to our team, and I think he already has, and I'm excited.
All right. Well, what can teams expect from you guys this season?
I don't know. I really don't want to give it away. But,
All right. That's all right. Keep in your back pocket.
So,
Play fast, hit hard. You
Yeah.
can see all the cliche stuff. There you go.
yeah, simple stuff, but
All right. So, senior captain of this team.
yeah.
All right. Good. Well, again, tough season last season. Sounds like you guys are turning it around, and really look forward to seeing what you guys accomplish on the football field this year.
All right.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
Okay, we're here at the home of the Panthers with new head coach Colin Dillabaugh. Coach, thanks for taking the time to speak to us today.
Thanks for having me.
So this all happened relatively quickly near the start of camp. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
So I showed up to practice. I left work around 4. Practice was at 4:30. Got the field around 4:15. Kids were warming up. Didn't know anything. Didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I get in the locker room, getting changed, and find out that the previous head coach is no longer with us. So I had 15 minutes to prepare. We threw everything together, and then shortly thereafter they went to the board, and then I got approved for head coach.
Oh,
So
well, that's
it.
fantastic. They certainly made a great selection.
Thank you.
How does it feel being a Weedsport grad, now head coach of Port Byron football?
It's nice. So Weed Sports program is now an 8-man program. So they were Class D. Port Byron was Class D. We had a really intense rivalry back when I was in school, but that rivalry and stuff solidified in me and what made me a player. The competition and the family, everybody was together, the community and all that from when those two schools played was important to me. And even though I was from Weedsport, it was the same on this Port Byron side.
Yep.
So it doesn't feel it doesn't feel different to me.
I got you. Along those same lines, can you tell me a little bit about the partnership with Union Springs High School? And this is the Port Byron Union Springs team, correct?
So,
how does that all work?
So some of the sports here are tied, football being one of them. We combine schools. We were Class D. We moved to C. So now we're in Class C. We're playing, Utica, Notre Dame.
Yep.
We have Skinny Atlas. We have General Brown. We have some tough teams. But we get the talent pool from both schools. So a lot of our athletes are from Union Springs,
Gotcha.
even though it's Port Byron Panthers. But
All right.
it's just a team, one family.
So
Port Byron's where the field is.
The game on Friday night is going to be at Union Springs, however, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Community involvement. They wanted to have a game there for the people from Union Springs. Like I said, it's a combined team. It can't, it's not just Port Byron. So they wanted to do one of their games there.
All right. So tell us about some of the kids who have stuck out for you so far this season that you expect big things out of.
Yep. So you already saw three of those players. One being Gavin Smithler, one being Mason Helmer, and the other one being Jose Reyes. But I have 2 running backs. I have Josh Kyle and I have John Everhart. John Everhart's a 10th grader and he's really strong up front. He's got a lot of drive. He's going to be a player for us. And then I have some DN Henry Margretta. He's an 11th grader. We have another year with him. Our fullback Dylan Jordan's good things. He's he's a utility player. He can do more than one thing. We have a lot of athletes.
That's fantastic. Watching practice today, it looked like there were a bunch of kids flying around, making tackles, making interceptions, flying around the football. Is that one of the things that you're trying to bring to the table? Is just an aggressive group on offense and defense?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm bringing. I want these kids to play with an attitude under control. This is an aggressive sport. I want them to be aggressive. As long as they, can draw it in and play clean football, I want them to get to the ball with purpose.
Okay. Big game against Utica Notre Dame, the Jugglers, this Friday night. What do you expect to see from them?
Like Mason said, I expect them, they're going to spread it around. They're going to spread it. They're going to run it. They're going to see some things that we did on scrimmage that we've been working on through the week that they're going to try to exploit. I think it's going to be a well-rounded game for them, for their game plan. I think they're going to pass it. They're going to throw it. They're going to throw it. They're going to run it. They're going to do it all.
All right. Well, we hope to cover the Panthers all season long, and so hopefully this is just the first of many conversations we have with you throughout the year. But we wish you the best of luck, and can't wait to see what happens on Friday night throughout the course of the season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Colin.
So that was the coach and some players from Port Byron. They seem like they've had a tumultuous summer, but they're ready to go out there and prove some people wrong is what it sounds like. That's the impression that I've got. just from listening to those guys.
Yeah, I got to say, I think Dan really hit the nail on the head. Colin Dillabaugh is the real deal, and I think he's going to do some great things there with that program, and he's got some places to start. Talking to him, he said he's got some speed that he's really happy with and some athleticism, and on the football field, it all starts there.
It's nice to see these Auburn Pride players out and about and giving back, like Colin and Trey Backus and, you know, Charles Gary. I mean, James Royal. They're all coaching Pop Warner. They're coaching football at some level. So it's, you know, it's pretty proud to be a part of the Pride organization and these guys giving back. So
I don't even think we mentioned that, but what did Colin play for the Pride?
Colin played everywhere.
Yeah.
Linebacker, O-line, D-line, some DN. He can play anywhere. Tight end. I mean, the kid's an all-around athlete and a pretty solid football player.
Well, I think it's going to transfer over to the coaching side as well.
Yeah, I think it will. You know, I hear the people, oh, you know, you're a good player doesn't mean you're a good coach. He understands the game so well. He's, you know, when we're going over blocking assignments, he's the one that comes up with questions. Well, what if he's coming A-gap? But, you know, so he's got that knowledge and understands how to attack it. So, yeah, I think Colin's the perfect fit there.
Sounds good.
And one interesting thing, you know, to pick up out of that talk we had is the 2 schools, 1 team. Can you talk a little bit about how they're doing that and why?
It's all they're trying to keep kids from these smaller schools still having the opportunity to play football, and as opposed to going year in and year out worrying about numbers and whether they're going to field a team or whether they're going to go to developmental football or take the Weedsport route and go to 8-man football. You know, they combine forces, make themselves a little bit bigger roster, and in this situation, you take 2 Class D schools, Port Byron and Union Springs, combine them into a Class C school, and then gives them a little stability going forward.
Yeah, I think there was 26 guys on the field, so without Union Springs, I don't think they'd have enough to field a team.
No, definitely not.
Well, that's high school football. Dan, you also got to go out and check out some Pop Warner, didn't you?
Love the kids. Got to go check out some Pop Warner, give them some love. You know, it's fun to see these kids at this age, because there's some kids that stand out that, I'm, you know, probably get his autograph now while he's 8, you know, 9. But no, there's some kids out there making plays, and, you know, I had a lot of fun watching them, and, you know, it's part of, you know, where I've come through the system. So, we got some guys, and oh, by the way, Auburn Mighty Might played away. They got their first win of the season, first game of the season.
Coach Eddie Ash?
Coach Eddie Ash, yep. And the home game was Auburn against Geddes Westvale.
Okay.
And we
Coached
were all shocked to see Trey Backus, Pride player, taking his team out on the field. So talking about Trey Backus, there he is, man. Number 1 for the Pride. Looking good, doing a little coaching, doing a little yelling. Gotta love Trey. There's Coach Dan Pisarcek, Coach Omar Bailey, and Curtis Stevens getting their group ready. And have a little fun here. Number 10, Dominic Zatizabal gets the outside, 7-yard run. Hey, Dan Pisarcek firing out in the O-line. Number 81, J.J. Savage works the stock block, gets him to the outside. This is a great run here by Mason DeAngelis. Or great pick by Mason DeAngelis, I'm sorry. Sitting right in the middle of the field, gets up the field, tackle. Hey, Auburn gets a first down. That kid there, number 4, he's fun to watch too. Defensively, this kid stood out to me. Number 37, Bishop Brown, literally comes out of nowhere, sees the play, gets a good angle, and great hawk roll tackle. I don't know if the coaches are working on it, but it's a great tackle by him. Hey, you got number 75, Austin Chapello, number 53, Jacob Stevens. Great blocks to open the middle. There they are. They open this right up for Mason. 10-yard first down. Seals it there. Boom, up the middle. Oh, if we get that one block, he could have been gone to the races. Hey, next play here, number 87, Max Beretta. You know, good play by him. I don't necessarily know that that's the perfect defensive end play, but he was in the right place at the right time. Gets a good tackle here. Grabs cloth, doesn't let go. Hey, here's number 37, Bishop Brown again. Mike Burns shielding the DN, and Dan Pisarcek getting upfield making a block. And this is all him, yards after contact. Oh, loses the handle there, but falls on it. But, you know, it's a lot of fun to watch these kids go out and play the game. And, you know, hey, it's all about family.
Doesn't get any better than that. I had an opportunity to go out and watch the Skinny Atlas youth football program, the 9th and 10th graders. I think they won 36-0 over Seneca Falls, and the B team, the 5th and 6th graders, won 26-0. So they got out to a good start out in Skinny Atlas as well. So we'll be bringing you a lot of coverage of Auburn Indians, Pop Warner football, and Skinny Atlas Lakers youth football throughout the course of the season. Can't wait.
Yeah. Dominic Zatizable. I hope I said that right. But that's a great name.
Well,
I like
I'm sure
that.
they'll be calling you if we got it wrong.
Zatizable. I love it. I love it.
That's the future of football in New York.
Yeah, put some time in the concession stand, giving back to the community. So, ate some food too.
Thanks for lunch.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I did.
right. Absolutely.
Bought you a burger.
And a dog.
Oh yeah, meal deal. Burger and a dog, $5.
So before we head out here, can you just run us through a slate of a few of the bigger football games to pay attention to this week?
Yeah, well, I will be up in Holland Patent for Skinny Atlas versus Holland Patent again. 2 sectional champions from last year doing battle on opening night. Auburn heading out to Henninger on Friday night at 7 o'clock. We've got Port Byron is hosting the Utica Notre Dame Jugglers. And Marcellus got a big game hosting IT this weekend.
Now, is Wheat
so
Sports still 8-man?
I believe they are.
Are they?
Yeah. We're going to have to go get out there and
Yeah,
check
we got to
that
get out to Wheat Sport. We got to make some calls and head out there.
So another thing, we've been primarily talking football. We'd love to talk some soccer, cross country, all of those types of things. But we need you to reach out to us. Contact us, rob@sportsexpress.com, rob@sxpnetwork.com. Soon we're going to be launching the Backyard Sports Network. It's going to be fun and airing a bunch of live sports, all the great things happening in your backyards. Get it to us and we'll cover your event as well.
Absolutely.
Have fun with it.
We'll see you guys out there.